I am here to make you mine.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be doing a first volume, first impression of Semantic Error by Soori. Before we get started, I was sent this first volume for free. However, all opinions are still my own. Also, there will be spoilers of the first volume. For those of you who decide to stick around, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to gossiping, peer pressure, violence, victim blaming, and harassment, as these things do appear in the first volume. But if that's okay with you, let's go and get started. To start with, I have to be honest. I've actually read this manhwa before, though the original versions were available on Kindle forever ago. I believe they were published exclusively by Manga, but I'm not positive. But then Eyes Press obtained the rights and sent me a copy of their edition, and I had to give it a read. It's been a year or more since I explored this world, so it really feels like the first time again. And to start with, these prints are beautiful. Eyes Press has been killing it with the quality of their physical releases, and this is no exception. And that leads me into the art. The art isn't perfect. I feel like it switches from super clean to super sketchy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is inconsistent. However, what I enjoy about the art is how each main character is designed. This is very much an opposites attract and enemies to lovers story, and it couldn't be made any more evident than by their physical representations. Sangwoo has a very neutral and plain palette, with all black clothes and average features. Jae-young, of course, is completely opposite. He wears bright clothing, often to the chagrin of Sangwoo, and his features are very bright and expressive in turn. I love that. It seems like a very obvious method of introducing characters and showing their differences, but it's very satisfying to see. Now, I do like both of our main characters, but there is one who speaks to me. Sangwoo is the man. I have probably never aligned with someone so much in my life. I work among developers and do minimal development for my day job, and I create the most visually unappealing things in the world. I try really hard to make it decent, but once the code gets in the hands of a front-end designer, it becomes beautiful. But beyond reflecting on my own abilities, it really highlights Sangwoo's personality. He's very pragmatic and realistic, which is where the romance begins. For whatever reason, Jae-young is drawn to Sangwoo despite their rocky start, and the goal is to somehow tear down Sangwoo's aloof exterior. I love this kind of thing. It is worth noting that this first volume mainly focuses on annoying Sangwoo into changing, but by the end we see Jae-young starting to switch tactics and use his extrovert powers to bring out the Sangwoo hidden beneath his routine. Before I close out, I want to mention that this is a very comedic title. I wouldn't say it's laugh out loud funny like my favorite, The Devil's Temptation, but it's got that lighthearted enemies to lovers and petty vengeance humor that keeps things fun. Sangwoo once again is the best on this front. His inability to recognize people, inadvertently offending Jae-young in the process, is one of my favorite things. This has so much potential, and though I've read this manhwa before, I've never finished it. This is a great start to what is looking to be a new favorite of mine. I guess we'll see. With all that being said, this was such a treat. While I remember the general vibe from the first time I read this, rereading it in print really brought back all of the fun stuff. I recall how bummed I was when the original Kindle run ended after 2 volumes, which is where I stopped. This has relit my excitement, and I'm so pumped to see how it all plays out. Fingers crossed we get the mature version of later portions. So, have you read Semantic Error Volume 1? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know in the comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!